Good morning, Colorado Springs. Hey, I think that's the most awake on the first good morning all weekend, but it's still, some of you are still asleep. I know it's a holiday weekend, but let's try that again. Good morning, Colorado Springs. There you go. Hey, welcome to Military Day, presented by USAA. We are here. This is session number 5. This is year number 48 for the Labor Day liftoff. And we'd like to get things officially kicked off this morning, starting with our national anthem, sung for us this morning by Curtis Brisby.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Curtis Brisby, thank you very much. What a great way to get us started here on Military Day, as we said, presented by USAA. And here to welcome us from USAA, Judd Worley.
Good morning, Colorado Springs. My name is Judd Worley. I'm an Executive Director of Application Development from the USAA office right here in our hometown. We are honored to be the presenting sponsor of Military Monday at the Colorado Springs Labor Day Liftoff. At USAA, our mission is to serve the military community and their families. It's events like this one that allow us to show up in the communities we serve and show our heartfelt appreciation for our members and all those who have stood tall for our nation. This includes our military and veterans, as well as their spouses and children. We know it's a family effort to serve, and we thank you for your dedication to our country. If you're unfamiliar with USAA, our mission is to empower the members to achieve financial security through highly competitive products, exceptional service, and trusted advice. We seek to be the #1 choice for the military community and their families. You can find more at usa.com/join. You may also notice some signage today that highlight career opportunities at USAA. Wherever you are in life, a college graduate, a seasoned professional, a veteran, or a military spouse, you can join our team in making a difference for the members we serve. We welcome you to visit usa.com/careers to find out more. Again, welcome to Military Monday presented by USAA, and thank you all for coming out.
Thanks, Judd. Appreciate USAA for being our day sponsor, our military day here at Labor Day Liftoff. So I attended pilot's briefing this morning and listened to the weather report, and you know what? They told us it was another great day for flying here. But before we get to that, I want to bring one more person up to the stage here. You know, we can't do this without big partners, sponsors, all of those types of things. One of the ones that's been with us for a number of years is KKTV News 11. And here to say good morning to you from KKTV is Blake. Good morning, Blake.
Morning, everyone. It's great to see you all out here. My name is Blake Salmon. I am the weekend evening co-anchor for the weekend shows, myself and Grace Kramer. We are so excited to be out here with you all today, up with the sun. We're so excited to be a part of this event and to see you all out here today. So thank you for coming out, and I'm excited to have a great day with you all. Please stop by our booth. We're right over by the Velodrome. We'd love to get to know you, and you can even win some great prizes. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Blake.
30 seconds.
All righty. So if you've been here the last couple of mornings, you know that we have done hare and hound competition races, if you will. It's not really so much a race as who gets there first. It's all about accuracy. We would send off one balloon and they would fly off. They'd have like a 10-minute head start, and then half the field would chase them and attempt to drop some markers on there. We're not doing competition today, so we don't have a hare and hound. We're just going to do 2 waves of balloons. We've got about 80 balloons here in the field. It's a little tight for 80 balloons, so we split them in half, and we send half of them off, and then we send the other half off. And of course, we even the wave kind of goes off in rows. Because we're aircraft, we need to have some airspace around us. So we'll be sending them off throughout, but it'll take us just a little while to get them off. So the first step in the process, and by the way, my name's Art Lloyd Jr. I'm a hot air balloon pilot, have been for a long time. I announce a number of balloon rallies, including Albuquerque, and this is my 8th year here at Labor Day Liftoff in Colorado Springs. The process here is going to be that the first wave of balloons are already starting to pull the equipment out of the trailer and off the truck. They'll pull the basket off. Shortly, I suspect we'll see some burner tests. Uh-oh. Yeah, just stand here. You hear those whistles? Yeah, you can't do a balloon rally without whistles. Because it takes people like these guys right in front of the stage here. They're in the referee outfits, the zebra outfits. We call them zebras. Technically, they are our launch directors. And we'll talk more about them as they get out there and get in position. But what's going to happen here, it's already starting to happen out there. Our pilots and crews are stretching out their envelopes and getting their baskets off. They're going to hook the propane burners to the tanks. They'll test those off. I suspect, actually, I'm surprised I haven't seen a burner go off yet. Someone will get it fired off quickly. They're checking for pressure. There you go. Thank you, Rainbow Riders. So they're checking to make sure they have the right kind of pressure. If they have too much pressure, that flame gets too high and starts cooking the top of the fabric. And if it's not enough pressure, then they don't get enough heat to actually be able to fly. And also, of course, check for leaks. So they'll be doing that, stretching out the envelope. Once the burner check is complete, they'll lay the basket down, connect it to the envelope, and then once they get the okay from up here, which will be in just a few minutes, they can start their inflator fans, and they will fill the envelope up with cold or ambient temperature. We call that cold packing. And then they'll light the burners up, heat the air. That'll make the balloons stand up. And then when they get the okay from the launch director, those people with the whistles in the zebra outfits, when they get the okay and the big thumbs up, they will take to the sky. So while we get ready and move slowly towards the start of our launch here this morning, we're kind of waiting for sun up to get a little bit up over the horizon there. Let me talk a little bit about a few housekeeping things. A couple of things that we would ask that you do and not do out here this morning. I already talked about the envelopes being stretched out as you wander around the field. Do not attempt to step over, and certainly don't step on any envelopes. They're also attached, as I said, to the burners with cables, and the basket's going to be attached to the truck or van with a big rope. Don't step on or over any of those. Take the few extra steps and walk around the other side. There is no smoking anywhere on the field. No smoking anywhere on the field. You could very easily set that down or drop an ash, and we happen to come along very quickly behind that, lay our envelope over it, and because it's still compact, it burns not one hole, but it burns a hole through about 7 or 8 layers. And that means we don't fly today. In fact, we don't fly until we take it in for a repair, and every hole's about $450 to repair. So if you do 7 of them, that's an expensive repair for us. So please, no smoking anywhere on the field. And if you brought man's best friend with you, you brought your puppy dog or other pet with you, please stay to the very edges of the field. We don't need them spooked by the burners and running loose or getting into any altercations with anything out here as well. So no smoking. Keep your pets and all of those folks on the side edge of the field and walk around everything that is happening. You know, this is really a great place to fly, and it's a great place to watch balloons as well. It is one of the very few balloon rallies anywhere in the world where you can actually be up close and personal when a balloon is being set up and launching. We are, as balloons, federally licensed aircraft. We have registration numbers. We have to follow the same types of rules that fixed wing, that all the planes and all those types of things have to do. We've got most of the same documents. We have the same inspection requirements. There are all kinds of things that have to go along with that. Our balloon pilots have to go through ground school to be able to, and then flight school, to be able to get a pilot certificate enabling us to fly a lighter than air free balloon. That's what goes on our pilot certificate. So when you put all this together, what that really means in the eyes of the FAA is that this is an air show, and this field is an active flight line. And I know, being up here in Colorado Springs with the Air Force Academy, and of course the Pikes Peak Air Show a few weeks ago, big into aviation up here, you understand what I'm talking about when I say an active flight line. And you know that spectators cannot be, according to FAA regulations, on an active flight line. Well, 48 years ago, they weren't thinking about that for balloons. Here in Colorado Springs, or actually 50 years ago in Albuquerque as well. So Albuquerque and Colorado Springs are about the only 2 places that I know of. I'm sure there's others. Those are the 2 big places where spectators can still get in among all of the balloons. So you're lucky to do that, so take advantage of that and have a great time. Ask questions and ask for trading cards. The Labor Day liftoff, folks, gave all of our pilots, and actually me, the announcer as well, balloon trading cards. So if you'd like to collect the cards, now would be a great time to do that, because we've got just a few minutes before we're going to start our inflator fans. So our crews, they've got an extra couple of minutes now. If you wanted to stop by and pick up that trading card, get your picture with the basket, Once we get a little more into the inflation, they're going to get a little busier and they won't have quite as much time for you. But now would be a great time to start your trading card collection. Are you looking for a trading card? There you go. You just got to come to me. I'm too far away from you. There you go. You got one. You can have one too. There you go. There you go. You bet. Thanks for coming out. All right. You bet. There you go. There you go. You bet. I'll trade for a donut. No, you can keep the donut. You can keep the donut. Sure. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oops, sorry. There you go. You bet. No, yeah, I just got to reach for it. In the world, if not in the country, if not the world. And so all of those people over there paid for a balloon ride this morning, and they're getting it checked off. So they're taking off from there, and one of the ones just happens to be the Visit Albuquerque balloon. So in addition to doing rides, Rainbow Rider also flies corporate balloons for different organizations and entities. So there's the Visit Albuquerque balloon. I can see the red side, but he's spinning that balloon using a turning vent, and when he gets around, we're going to see the green side. Going with the red or green question, which is the official state question of New Mexico. And you'll notice that those balloons are bigger, which means they have bigger baskets on them, so they can carry a lot more people. So because they're doing paid rides, they're taking off from over there. And because of the size. It's just kind of in a big wave. So we're gonna, yeah, they're because there's like 2 people in every space out here. So the first one in the space will go off, and then after they're gone, the second one can get in line and go. Yeah. So yeah, the entire Rainbow Riders fleet is starting to take off from the Rose Garden. And the pilots here will tend to watch what they're doing, because what happens is we cannot steer a balloon. What we can do is we can make it go high, we can make it go low, but we can't actually steer it. There's no steering wheel, there's no rudder, there's no stick or anything like that. So we'll just put the balloon at a different altitude, because winds go different directions and different speeds at different altitudes. That's how we change the direction. So staying a couple hundred feet off the ground, they're just kind of moving basically right towards Prospect Lake. I'll bet. Green or red chili? Yes. Yeah, the green and red Visit Albuquerque. The official state question in New Mexico is red or green. And they're asking, do you want red chili or do you want green chili? And then other people will say, well, I want Christmas, which means I want both. Okay, the lost and found is actually with the fire department, which is on the other side of the field. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you lose anything, get separated from anyone. The Colorado Springs Fire Department has a booth set up on the far side of the field from me here on the stage. And you can take it in there. Look at all these Rainbow Riders guys. They're all going to try and do a splash and dash in Prospect Lake. The idea behind a splash and dash is that you take the balloon and the basket right down to the surface of the water. And you want to just get the bottom of the basket wet. Now, if you miss and you don't get to the water, that's okay. Skimming along the water is great. And if you miss the other way and you go too far and your feet get wet, then it's a little embarrassing. I actually saw a great Facebook post from one of the Rainbow Riders pilots It was, you could actually see his wake going through. Wake is kind of almost too much. But you could see where he was literally skimming the water for probably 20, 25 feet or so. And then the last couple of Rainbow Rider balloons coming over. Right there, of course, is the 11 News banner. But next to that, the more red one with the white design coming out of the heart, that balloon is called Cottywomple. That's Mike Heffron. He's flying for Rainbow Riders, and he has a door on the side of his basket that allows him to take wheelchair passengers. So they open the door, wheel the person in, close the door, and the top part of that door, or around the door, is kind of a plexiglass, so that even at that reduced height, they can actually see outside the basket. So we talked about winds going different speeds in different directions. Those that are low continue to move off to the south, southwest. But if you look up high, and not that very high, the Rainbow Riders balloon has kind of stopped, and even higher, the Visit Albuquerque balloon has also stopped. He's just sitting up there spinning that balloon. The way the spinning works is that there is an opening on the side of the balloon that can be controlled by the pilot with a rope. The particular turning bit there is between the red and green sides. When they open that side, what happens is the air goes out the side and it pushes the balloon in a circular direction. And the idea is that if you rotate it like that, you get to see all the sides of the balloon. We'll see that with a number of these balloons as well, right, that are going to take off on the field here. All right, I see, well, we're getting our first wave inflated quickly. That's good. We were talking about the baskets and the larger baskets on the Rainbow Riders balloons. We talked about the basket with the door on it to put a wheelchair in. And the other way we do this is like you'll see on the Baby B, Joelle. Michael Glenn is a paraplegic and he's in a wheelchair all the time, obviously. He is the pilot of that. We call him our rolling pilot. So instead of a basket on the bottom of the B, he's got what we call a chariot. It's basically a two-seater chair. And so once he stands it up, he just straps himself in the chair and he flies from there. And so I'll try and make sure that you can see that when Michael takes Joelle, our Baby B, skyward. Kurt Godlowski has got Remax standing up for us. Sam Parks has Dos Equis. Michael Stinson has Xfinity Rewards standing up for us. It was Xfinity Day on Saturday here. The Rainbow Riders folks have put up the Colorado Springs Labor Day liftoff on Apple Productions and Sports Corp balloon, as well as the Olympic City, USA Colorado Springs balloon. Chris Sabia has the Wonder balloon standing up for us. Justin Cox is standing up Evo, one of our special shapes on the far east end. And I see Rich Lawhorn getting cold air into Humpty Dumpty. Beyond him, there's Bill Lee with the New Mexico True Balloon. And we have our first liftoff from the main field here. Clayton Crouch taking off from the far southwest corner up there by VIP. The black checkerboard from this side, it's got yellow and orange. But as it turns, or you see the other side, you see that goes around into green and blue. Finish line, appropriate with the checkerboards there. Sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. So we will be launching from the downwind side. So that is kind of off in that corner. We'll kind of start off that way. Right behind Clayton, I see the basically all red balloon is getting in the air. That is the Atomic Brewing Balloon, piloted for us by Andrew Brindley. And of course, flying the banner for Atomic Cowboy. There's Humpty Dumpty standing up now, as is New Mexico True. And Andrew using that turning vent to turn that red balloon. So while that banner was going away from us, using the turning event, we now see the Atomic Cowboy, the Atomic Cowboy banner. And now he's gone up over that tree and he's going to drop down in and he's going to probably attempt to splash and dash as well. Meow Wolf now standing up. Meow Wolf being flown today by Derek White. Meow Wolf, a very unique experience, expanding to locations all around the Southwest. Starting to hear whistles, which means our launch directors are already at work. They'll be spreading across the field. Actually, they're already assigned to different rows and different squares. I think we launched somebody out of the center here. Yep. All I can see is the basket. I can't tell you who it is. I think that's Heaven Bound 2, Alan Hahn. And a little farther off to the east, that's Eye of Enchantment. That's the yellow one, a lot of yellow. And then the other very bold colors there as well. Michael Spinello. Michael won some money in yesterday's competition. He is sponsored by Colorado Springs folks. So like I said, we're taking them off more from the southern side so that they start to float away from us. So right now I have a lot of balloons standing up in front of me, making it a little more difficult for me to see, but I try and catch them as I go. And we're popping another one out of there. The white at the bottom that has kind of the stair step of the multi-blues and maroons. That's Mark Hoffins with Odin's Breath. Sponsored by Q1077. If you look high, you'll see the Rainbow Riders balloons. Some of them are now starting to come over the field. So we have an interesting wind pattern developing in that you actually have some steerage today, meaning that if you go, stay at one level, you'll go one direction, go to a different altitude, you'll go in a different direction, and I can see at least 3 or 4 different directions up there already. Steampunk is airborne as well. That's the blue at the bottom, yellow at the top, with all the animal designs around the side. There's actually 7 different animal designs on Steampunk C. Flown by Kevin Heinzman. There goes Remax. Remax flown by Kurt Godlowski. Not a German, but I have one without a basket that's flying the bee this morning. Yeah, the baby bee. Yeah, it's not a German pilot, but that's one that we have without a basket. Spirit of 76, Jason Gabriel standing up over there on the far edge by the lake. Here on Military Day, presented by USAA. Happy Labor Day to everyone. Bill Lee has the truly New Mexico balloon in the air. Basic black with lots of bright colors and the colorful sugar skull. That's the balloon with the New Mexico Tourism Department on it. And the last cheer I just heard is for Humpty Dumpty getting airborne. Rich Lawhorn has Humpty in the air. Can't fall off the wall if you're not up there. Humpty Dumpty sponsored by El Pomar for us. Is that Cottywample balloon I talked about earlier that has the wheelchair equipped basket. Remember, he took off from the ballpark, kind of went south over Prospect Lake. He's gone high now, and he's going back across the field here, being able to give his passengers a view directly down on you. So you're being watched from high above. And there goes Meow Wolf. Derek White flying Meow Wolf. Yeah, I think we're going to see balloons just kind of hanging around. High, low. Just a sky full of color this morning at Labor Day liftoff. Organized by Colorado Sports Corp, Wild Apple Productions, and Rainbow Riders. There goes our Olympic City balloon, the Rainbow Riders balloon. using the turning vent to make sure that no matter where you are, you will see that Olympic City banner. He was blocking the sun nicely, although it was making it cool up here. Damian Curson is flying the one with the Rainbow Riders balloon with the Olympic City banner on it. And he's basically rotated that about 360 degrees now, using that turning vent I've been talking about. And there goes the Labor Day Liftoff sponsored balloon, also operated by Rainbow Riders. Hey, another one of our special shapes starting to inflate. Right in front of me on the stage is the Xfinity balloon, which is its own special shape. But then next to that is our pig, Chris. Being a pig, we call it Crispy Bacon. Far East Side, there goes our special shape, Evo. Justin Cox flying Evo. Evo sponsored by Krispy Kreme. Kind of off the center of the field, south center of the field. Vertical pattern of blue, pink, with light blue on the top. That's Wild Thing. Shane Richardson flying. And if you look high out there, you'll see that there's an all-white balloon out there. Oh, there goes Michael Glenn in Joelle the Bee. So there's a good opportunity to see that Michael's in a chair. There's actually a two-seater chair that he has on the bottom of that. There's a wave from Michael as Joelle gets airborne. I was mentioning that white one that's way up there. It's kind of like that red one. You make a solid color balloon and then you can hang different sponsor banners on it, and that becomes the attracting part of it. That white one has had numerous banners on it over the years. Here at Labor Day Liftoff, it's flying a banner for Banning Lewis. And there goes Sam Parks in Dos Equis along with Michael Stinson and Xfinity Rewards. You may notice those yellow ribbons that are hanging off a few of the baskets. I saw it on Michael's chair. It's hanging off the Dos Equis balloon and off the Xfinity balloon as well. Pilots are flying those yellow ribbons in honor of Scott Appleman. Scott Appleman, a longtime balloonist, very active in the entire ballooning community. Started Rainbow Riders 42 years ago. Took over Labor Day Liftoff about 9 years ago. Served on the board of the Balloon Federation of America, on the board of directors in Albuquerque. And Rainbow Riders has operations in 4 states, the entire Four Corners region of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Scott unfortunately passed away just last month. We miss him, and we're flying for him. Plus the yellow ribbons. A lot of folks that are staying low. Let's get over to the river, or to the river, over to the lake, do the splash and dash, then kind of go up high and come back around. Greg Garcia's got his elevation balloon. That's the kind of light gray with the multicolored diamonds on it. Took off from the lakeside. Looks like he's getting ready to drop in and try and do a splash and dash. Greg is sponsored by UC Health. Jason Gabriel's got his Spirit of 76 balloon in the sky, which is kind of to say he too is going to go for the river. Jason's sponsored by Hope Media here at the Labor Day Liftoff. Chris Sabia's got the Wonder Balloon in the sky off the east side of the field. Chris using his turning vent so that the Wonder is always in a position where you can spot it. You know what's happening is we're seeing a box develop. I've been talking about the winds up high going a different direction than the winds on the ground. That means if you fly back to the north up high, you can drop down and come back to the south. So I'm seeing at least 2 Rainbow Riders balloons coming back around. Actually, they're all out that way, dropping down and coming back our way. So you're going to see them not only come by once, but some of them are going to come back around the other way. Just took off from right here in the center of the field, the purple, orange, yellow, blue one, Suzanne Dolge in Heirloom, a family balloon. The red, white, and blue kind of checkerboard one is Rod Baca in Cruise Control. Rod is sponsored by Schmidt Construction. More balloons in the sky than inflated on the field don't think we're done. We're only like halfway. What a great morning. Yeah. So of course I keep looking out to the south because I'm looking kind of here at the field, watching what's going on in the field. Then all of a sudden I turn around and there's just as many balloons in the sky behind me. So just a very nice box pattern for us this morning. The idea that when you're low, you're going more to the south. And you go up high and you go back to the north. You come back low and you go to the south and you just kind of make this box pattern. If you've ever been to Albuquerque, you hear us refer to it as the Albuquerque box. It's a basically this weather pattern that you're seeing right here in front of you, or I should say above you, where we have the winds low going one direction and up high going basically 180 degrees the other direction. Happens in Albuquerque quite often. Happens in lots of other places, as it's happening today right here in Colorado Springs. Hey, this is Labor Day Liftoff number 48. We are really glad that we have so many of you out here today. You have a question for me? I have an answer for you, so ask your question. personally, yes, no, I do fly these balloons. Yeah, I have some friends that have a balloon that they actually made, and they let me fly it on a very regular basis. In fact, this gentleman here cruised with us as well. So, yep. Is that one here today? Yes, but it's not flying. The one I'm looking at. The question was, what's my favorite balloon? It's the one I'm looking at the moment. What's your favorite balloon? The owl and Pepsi? All right. You guys get one of my cards? There you go. Thanks, Ken. You looking for a card? Mr. Ken will help you with it. Thank you. All right, the blue-green one with the Zia made out of wrenches and the skull in the center. That's John Spiker, and that balloon is called Gut Wrenching. Ha 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 ha. Gut Wrenching sponsored by HARE. Largest balloon festival in the world is the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Yeah, they do rides over there. They do big balloon rides. They don't do a big balloon festival. Yeah. What's my favorite song? Up, Up and Away, of course. Yeah. Why doesn't Uncle Sam fly anymore? That's a really good question. That's a great question. So here's the deal. Let me tell you that's Marauder's Mark, the yellow and orange one going off, carrying the banner for Diversis Health, flown by Dave Icor. Dave actually runs a balloon repair station in Albuquerque. Because you see, these are aircraft and that's fabric, and if you keep putting heat and other things that it gets drug across the grass at inflation and deflation, the fabric tends to wear out. And so it's only good for so many hours of flight. And at that point, you have to do something else. You stop flying it, or you retire it, or you start replacing fabric. Well, Uncle Sam was built way back in the 1980s. And so its fabric is wearing out. And so it's not safe to fly Uncle Sam anymore. So we can stand it up, but we can't really fly it anymore because the fabric, it's getting what we call too porous, which means the air, the heat goes right through it. Now, Chicky Boom, the balloon that's inflating over there now, the one with the fruit on the top of the face, that's the face of Carmen Miranda. That balloon was actually built right before Uncle Sam. But Chicky Boom wore out as well, so they rebuilt Chicky Boom. That's the second version of Chicky Boom. Okay? Great question. I see Chris. Yeah, Chris Jones has got his balloon skyward. That's the multicolor spikes going up into the purple top. The balloon is called Serenity. Sponsored by Chamonix, the only Colorado casino with roots in Las Vegas. Okay. So I'm hearing that a couple of our balloon pilots will be making the decision to do a static display for you. Rather than fly away, they'll stand their balloon up and let you get close and personal. Wow, that hasn't been around for a long time. I don't even know what happened to Pink Panther. It probably wore out, just like everything else. We get about, actually, in the 80s and 90s, you were lucky to get 400 hours of flight time out of a balloon. Nowadays, the fabric has been improved and coatings and things like that. It's pretty easy to get 700 to 800 hours of flight time out of a balloon. But if you only fly it like an hour every weekend, that's a long time. But if you fly it an hour every single day, now it's only a few years. So, you bet. So Chicky Boom, I was talking about it, answering that question earlier, is now standing up, and Uncle Sam is cold inflating. A little more to that story. Chicky Boom was built by some guys who thought balloonists took themselves too seriously, and so they decided to make a fun balloon. So the balloon is Chicky Boom, and then she needed a boyfriend. That's why they built Uncle Sam. Kind of expanding there. And there goes Crispy Bacon. Jordan Cox flying Crispy Bacon for us. Sponsored by Perkins Motors. So we're kind of continuing to keep an eye on the box here. It's still up there, but it's changing a little bit. But folks that took off from this field went off to the south, went up high, now are north of the field. Neil Smith has his balloon off the lake side. Yellow at the top with the maroon and orange spikes coming up from the bottom. That balloon is called Indecisive. That's because when he got that balloon, it took him like months for the crew to decide what to call it. So they finally settled on, since we can't decide, let's call it Indecisive. Neil's balloon sponsored by Xfinity. So in addition to having a day here and their own special shaped balloon, they also sponsored Neil. Thanks, Xfinity. And there goes Chicky Boom. Sponsored by Pepsi and piloted by Shane Shipman. I had the opportunity to help inflate that balloon. Oh gosh, it was a year ago almost now. Every one of those pieces of fruit has its own deflation port. So like most of these balloons just have one big opening at the top to let the hot air out. Chicky has one of those as well, but then the banana has one or two, each grape, each apple. Every one of those has its own, so there's a lot more work to inflating and deflating a special shaped balloon. Off the other end of the field, the yellow one with the compass rose on it, that's Jerry Graff. Sorry, Jerry Graff, no T. His balloon is called Lofty, and he's sponsored by Republic Services. And the orange one, orange and yellow, kind of stair-step, that's the Pals balloon. Sean Aiken grew up in Albuquerque, now lives in Wisconsin. Sponsored by AMR, Colorado Springs. Emergency response. Just off to the side of that, the balloon with the big yellow line band around the middle, that's a new. That's Jeff Duff. Right here at the stage, Keith to catch. Jeff and that yellow one, sponsored by Al Pomar. Keith is flying to catch a breeze. He is sponsored by Odyssey Systems Consulting Group. The balloon standing up with the very intricate pattern of the black and the blues and the golds and the whites, all that geometric design stuff. That's Holocron. Luke Van Kent flies that balloon, sponsored by Peak Vista Community Health Center. You may have noticed that the wind on the ground here has slowed down tremendously. So while our balloons were taking off a little faster, Keith going off now much, much slower. There's with Odin's breath, the purple one way over the lake. Remember he took off from here a while ago? Yep, thanks. He has managed to box back around. He's making a dive down into the lake. Hopefully he stops it before he dunks the basket. It's called a splash and dash, not a dunk and dash. In fact, actually, I hate to call him out, but you know what? I think he overburned. Because I don't think he got low enough to get to the water and he's popping back up. That's the problem when you make a steep descent like that. It's very easy to overburn, which means putting too much heat in the balloon. So not only does it stop it, but it reverses it. Because when you fire off the burner, there's probably a 6 to 8 second delay before the balloon actually responds. It's got to heat the air, and then it's got to kind of like almost realize that, oh, I'm lighter than the rest of you, I can go up now. But to be able to reverse that momentum, there's about an 6 to 8 second delay from the time you do something, pull the top or hit that burner before it actually responds. So you're coming down fast, I gotta stop it, I gotta get some heat in there, and so you burn one too many times, put a little too much heat in, and then drop back down in. Alan Hahn and his Heaven Bound balloon is coming back around on our other side as well. They're not going to allow the balloons to land on the field here this morning. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second and I'll get it for you. So that's the 5280 flyer, or the 5280 flyer.
You want a card?
John Schmitz from Littleton, Colorado, and flying for Colorado Springs, the city of Colorado. Yes, sir. I can't hear you when you talk that way. Yeah. I don't remember, but you know what? They've got programs in that little tent right there. You can go get pictures of all of them. On the other end of the field here, on the east side, I see the Navy Federal Credit Union balloon. It was Navy Federal Credit Union Day yesterday. And he was the HARE. Steve Mitchell was the HARE balloon for their competition. And he's off, right on the edge. Evo might be coming in. That's Kent Woolcott. He's sponsored by Laborjack. That's the one that starts with the yellow and orange at the bottom, kind of goes into the red and purple and blues at the top. And Evo's coming right back towards where he took off. No, he's going to be on the edge of the lake. Good morning. No, I can't do that. Sorry. And there goes the Navy Federal Credit Union balloon. Another one of those solid color balloons where you just hang the nice looking banner on it. And that banner for the credit union looks great. Again, that's Steve Mitchell. Here comes Evo. Evo decided he was missing you, so he decided to come back, say hi, get more pictures taken. Just kind of finishing up here. A few more balloons. We'll see what's going on. Uncle Sam, again, we said will not fly. He's going to stand up for a while. And you can see how much heat he has to put in there to keep Uncle Sam's face from getting very wrinkly.